Oh my goodness, Royal Rumble 2020. What a roller coaster that was. What a roller coaster the weekend has been. Um, First of all, my thoughts and prayers go to the family of Kobe Bryant and his daughter who tragically passed away. I mean, that's still so surreal to me right now. Um, Royal Rumble 2020, what a crazy show. Opening match with Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin was what it was. Fun little opener. I didn't mind it. That was the only time of the night they cheered for Roman. We'll get to that later. They quickly turned. Charlotte. Right, so, Women's Battle Royal Rumble. I really enjoyed that Women's Royal Rumble. Bianca Belair was a superstar. They have made a star ready for their main roster or ready to continue to do things with on NXT, because I know that she's being built as the next contender in NXT, and her and Rhea Ripley would be amazing. I'm glad that Ripley wasn't in there though, because I think that would have hurt her had she not won or if she was thrown out too early. So I was glad that she wasn't in that. Good to see Molly Holly back. It was like being 17 again. Yes, because I'm much older than I appear to be. Everyone was eagerly anticipating the emergence of Shayna Baszler, the heavy favourite to win. Bianca Belair looked amazing throughout the whole thing. It was like the Shawn Michaels 95-96 Rumble performances. Like, it reminded me a lot of that. She just has it. And Charlotte Flair eliminates her. And I had a horrible feeling that this was a bad omen. And then as the match progressed, Charlotte had an unfortunate cut, bleeding all in the back of Beth Phoenix's head. Shayna Baszler eventually comes out. Everybody is salivating, thinking this is the heir apparent, because we remember Survivor Series. We saw how that ended with Shayna Baszler and the Team NXT vs Raw vs SmackDown match. Shayna won the match. Becky beat her up afterwards. This is setting something up. The story writes itself. Shayna's Ronda's best mate. There's a lot of unfinished business there. Everybody was prepped, and Charlotte won. And that took the steam out of the engine for me. We're going to really talk about that tomorrow, because that's a broad topic we're going to talk about, but I feel the general consensus is Charlotte is being shoehorned into another top program. That's how the fans feel. For me, I wanted to see someone new and someone fresh in the mix, and especially when this story just writes itself. Charlotte wins again, and it's like people wanted Ronda and Becky, and Charlotte was shoehorned in. But we're going to really expand on that. Wait till I'm well rested. We're going to have a little chit chat about that one. But I can see why people wouldn't be happy with that. When we had Bayley versus Lacey Evans, I was barely invested. I was still a bit wound up, if you want to say, after that. Bayley wins. Lacey Evans as a babyface is alright, but I think she's been called up too early. That's always been my opinion. Then we have The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan. So the thing with the Fiend matches is that, for me, because of the way the character's presented, yes, they've rebooted him successfully, but because of the way they present him, it's hard for me to get into his matches. Of all the matches he's had since his reincarnation, this was perhaps the best one he's had. Took a while to get going, but best match that Bray the Fiend has had, with him winning and retaining the belt. Then again, when you're in there with Daniel Bryan, it doesn't hurt. He's had his best singles matches with him, if you've noticed. Becky Lynch versus Asuka. I always say that wrong. I love the way that this was built up. I love the fact that they played off of last year's history. I applaud that. You have a contender who could beat the champion, who did beat the champion, and they played that into the story that Becky felt that the company were protecting Becky from Asuka, and she didn't want that. And I really enjoyed the match. There was a crazy bump where she suplexed her face forward and her knees went splat. I cringed at that point. Great match. Becky wins. So, are we getting Becky and Charlotte? Again, I don't know. I don't know. I hope that there's an angle tomorrow and Shayna snaps Charlotte's arm or some shit. But I mean, damn. So then we fast forward to the men's Royal Rumble. Now, women's Royal Rumble was entertaining. Men's Royal Rumble was very emotionally charged and very, very exciting. I like what they done. Brock comes in, eliminates loads of people. The crowd lit it up for him and Kofi, and I was glad Kofi got to stick in there a little bit, kind of make up for the 9-second match. That was really cool. When him and E. Langston and Rey Mysterio teamed up, that was really cool. That was a really cool moment there. Then Brock cleans house. Then Keith Lee coming in, and I just lost it. I think Keith Lee is one of the next top stars in that company. He's just charisma. He's a fountain, and the other man can move. And Brock is an excellent professional wrestler because he sold, like, oh no, Paul, like his face. So he sold him as a threat. Bit of a bummer the way he was eliminated. Obviously, him and Strowman both got eliminated. So it was a bit of a bummer. I wanted to see Keith in there for a bit more. But I think he's got a lot of unfinished business in NXT with the North American belt. And I think he'll be the NXT champion. So there is that. So hopefully it was like a bit of an... Then again, at the same time, he was so hot after Survivor Series, you could have gone that way with him if you wanted. So I don't know. Drew McIntyre comes out. Someone that I wasn't so keen on back in the day, but he has won me over. We'll talk about that in another time. Drew McIntyre comes out. Ricochet was already there, obviously. Ricochet, low blows. Brock, Drew, Claymore kicks him out the ring, and that's when I spilt my drink on the floor. Look, I'll show you actually right now. Look at that. Yeah, spilt my drink on the floor after that. Sorry about this. And yeah, that's because of that, my reaction. Drew McIntyre, you legend. The drinks were on me, literally. And I really enjoyed it. I thought Brock was going to come back and screw him, but I'm glad that they're setting this up. The match progresses, and the rumour that had been circulating for 4 or 5 months turned out to be true because he came back. I couldn't believe my eyes. 2011, he was one of my favourite wrestlers. He retired because of his neck injury. He was quite sad, but he knew when to walk away. Seems like some things have changed throughout the years. I think the Daniel Bryan returning has inspired a lot of people to come back. People were anticipating Paige to come back at some point. And there's Edge with 6-pack abs and a hairy man chest. And he looked really good. He looked really, really good. Spears and spears and spears. Really cool seeing him and Orton kind of have a rated RKO reunion. Matt Riddle came out. Would have liked to have seen him get a little bit more time considering what a natural talent he is. He gets eliminated by Baron Corbin. Then Seth's guys come out. The Goons, as I like to call them. And Seth and those guys eliminate Joe and Owens. And then those guys go off into a brawl, you know, Seth's Goons, Seth's on his own, and then those guys team up on Rollins and throw him out. You get down to the final 4, and then you get down to Orton getting eliminated by Edge, and at this point I actually thought Edge was going to win the Royal Rumble, and I think a lot of people there thought Edge was going to win the Royal Rumble, but my heart wanted McIntyre to win, because it's time to elevate a new guy, and actually he's won me over in the last few years. We'll touch on that a little bit later. Eliminating Brock was one of the reasons. But you get down to the final 3 and the fans it's like booing Roman. I think quite a few people were convinced Roman was going to win. And you had that great moment where they're both on the apron and they're fighting and they're fighting and they're fighting. And then Roman eliminates Edge. And then Drew eliminates Roman. And I think there was a good reaction there, not strong, because I think the fans were slightly deflated because they've just seen Edge come back, and I think they wanted Edge to win, but I think for the betterment of building someone new, because you need new stars, and given the fact that McIntyre has really evolved and improved, McIntyre winning was the best option, and I was very happy for that. And you know, overall, other than the ending of the Women's Rumble, I can't really complain. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. The Rumble matches were the best part. Shorter show than last year's. I think that's why Brock was in the Rumble match in the first place. That's probably why. So it looks like we're getting Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar, Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and maybe Edge versus Seth Rollins. But it was really, really cool. Lots of cool surprises. MVP showing up was a bit crazy as well. And wow, one night. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you felt. Do you feel like Edge should have won the Royal Rumble? Do you feel like Keith Lee should have won? Do you feel that McIntyre was the right person to win? Do you think that someone else should have eliminated Brock? How did you feel about Brock's performance in the Rumble? What about the Women's Rumble? Let me know what you think about that, and let me know in advance what you feel, because we're going to talk about the whole Women's Rumble and how that played out. I'm going to wrap this one up. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Love you all. Golden Elite down on Facebook. God bless you. Have a good time in Chicago. Guys on Twitter, Maria, George, thank you very much. And Stevie J too. And comment, like, and hit that subscribe button. Peace.